advertising to them, but not just your own premises, any coordinates that you target, and that includes your competitors. So Drew's going to get you guys started with some of the nuts and bolts of that, and then he'll hand it over to me, and I'll talk about more than the analytics he's going to show you, but how you can take those device IDs and deliver ads in social media platforms and websites.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And for all the attendees, you are in listen mode, so please, by all means, feel free to submit questions via the Q&A opportunity in that field. So, but without further ado, let's get started. Location data and digital marketing. This is something that Data Dynamics is very excited about, and it's really what we've spent a lot of our time in 2020, in terms of research and development, devoting our energy and resources to. So just some background, location-based advertising and marketing. These are rapidly expanding tools in the digital world. As developing audience segments based on having recently visited a location or area, it allows businesses to deliver relevant content to consumers with high purchase intent. It's based on the recency aspect. So location-based data that's derived from platforms that follow and aggregate device data, it allows businesses to target consumers based on proximity to a retail shop, restaurant, venue, or any brick and mortar location. So this new application of location data allows markets to hone in segments with offers that improve the customer experience with a business or brand. Furthermore, the Mobile Ad ID or MAIDs data from a consumer's iPhone or Android device provides an organization with the ability to refine offers based on where those devices were identified and even based on the amount of time spent at or in the vicinity of a location. And this slide that we're looking at here indicates, provides some illustrations for, kind of the shift that we saw in terms of application of this data. Now in 2020, we obviously saw a global shift in consumer activity as the pandemic forced people indoors and shopping patterns shifted immensely. So measuring historical data of consumers before and through the health crisis, it allows advertisers the opportunity to glean insight into how behaviors continue to change. And savvy digital marketers are aware of the potential with this technology. In this graphic here, we see that of the responses to a 2020 mobile marketing survey, over 16% of digital marketers began using location-based data during the pandemic, while over 50% have increased their marketing efforts in this capacity. Now, considering the vast changes in the marketplace that we all experience and the whole world experienced, seeing that only half of marketers are using data in this capacity for targeted ad campaigns indicates early adapters are utilizing the technology. So let's kind of look at those opportunities that I referenced. It really come down to two main categories. Location-based analysis and insights, applying the data realization to email and programmatic reporting, and two, location listening data subscriptions. And this is in order to create highly targeted social and programmatic campaigns. Now, first, in that usage and benefits, really they apply to both categories or both opportunities, but I'm going to speak more so to the analysis and attribution in a use case. And these benefits really come down to three main categories: identifying a client's location, identifying competitors' locations, or identifying and targeting locations for which your customers have an affinity. So in those three categories, we're going to kind of look at how the analysis and insights and samples that we're going to look at can be delivered to you and then can be added to email campaigns and digital advertising. So we're using this technology, and it's based on location-based data signal technology to enhance attribution of email reporting by illustrating the lift a business sees in their visits to a location. Now, these pages provide a never-before-seen view into how digital marketers can use location data for their clients. And about 8 to 10 pages of and types of reporting are as follows: foot traffic ranking compared to competitors, traffic ranking by day of the week, Again, another is shared customer traffic, how often people are coming into your client's place of business and then going to other stores that are comparable. Foot traffic time of day, very valuable for analyzing, which hour of the day your restaurants, retail centers, whatever, are generating the most on-site visits. And then busiest and slowest traffic dates for over any specified period of time. Then where visitors actually live, who are returning visitors, and lastly, providing location details. Now, before I go into this one comparing to competition slide, I do want to drive home that and pause and reiterate that the ranking of the on-site figures referenced in these reports, they do not reflect activity associated with an advertiser's website. It's not people who receive the digital ad who then visit an advertiser's place of business. These are not programmatic conversion zones applied to a campaign, and I'll speak on this further later in the webinar. These figures represent mobile devices of real-life, warm-blooded individuals at a place of business and chosen competitors of that advertiser. So competitive analysis is a huge advantage with this reporting, and it's driven by location-based data signals. And in the COVID world, it's easier to gather information on your competitors and your clients than relying on business cards and a fishbowl and so forth. So let's look at this first reporting example, comparing your client's brick and mortar location to the competition. Now, this details a percentage of visits by consumers to an advertiser's and competitor's location, and can be supplemented with a hard number of total unique visitors or daily unique visitors. These charts detail a percentage of all collected visits compared to each other over a specified and adjustable date range. And as I stated earlier, there was a huge shift in shopping behavior. We realize this, but you can't drive it home enough. And at the height of the pandemic, while this resulted in a surge of online orders and deliveries to our front door, not all industries could capitalize on this. And this is why I chose this automotive reporting category. This sector, automotive industry, has limited click-to-purchase options. And while there are online car purchase websites and organizations like Carvana or Vroom and Shift Technologies, this represents less than 10% of all car sales in the United States. And offerings for online auto sales services like these are usually relegated to high population density areas. So here in this report, we see that there's a Mazda dealership, a Honda dealership, and an Audi dealership. And it's a Mazda dealership that we're focusing on because they are our partner's client. In this example, the reporting index indicates the Mazda dealership has only 32% of the customer pool compared to the Honda and Audi dealers. This being almost 25% fewer customers than the Honda dealership sees over an established period of time. So right away, this client can glean information and say, something that I'm doing is resulting in fewer people on the showroom floor than the Audi dealership. So, than the Honda dealership. But as we proceed and look at another reporting sample, duration of customer visits. So how long people are on site. It's a percentage of people who stay at an advertiser's and competitor's location over a period of time, up to 3 hours tracking, and is also adjustable. Advertisers can glean insights if visitors stay at a competitor's location longer than theirs, while analyzing if they're converting enough customers that are staying on location for a shorter period of time. And as seen in the little green oval in the upper right-hand corner, I've adjusted the time duration here from to 30 to 90 minutes. Because if you think about it, people are not going on to a dealership lot and buying a car in 15 minutes. Furthermore, people don't all stay at a dealer except maybe to sign and write a check for over 90 minutes, unless they really like talking to car salesmen. So finding that time, that sweet spot, and then digging into it is a great opportunity. And I can't reinforce enough that these are your clients' customers, everyone. Do your clients monitor or even think about how long customers are on a location? The opportunity to gather information on these customers, establish our potential of the competition, is not something you'll come by elsewhere. And analyzing the amount of time customers spend at a place of business allows managers to determine the amount of time people spend at their location, like a showroom floor at a car dealership, before a member of the sales team closes that sale. Now, another reporting sample. This is where we've analyzed data from the busiest foot traffic dates for these Audi, Honda, and Mazda dealerships. And again, in the upper right-hand corner, you see that the date range is adjustable. So while I specified a full year from January 1st, 2020 to January 1st, 2021, we're going to see that most of their highest activity was on certain days in a certain quarter. But when you citing of the busiest days for foot traffic over a defined period of time for your client and their competitors, these dates, aligning them with promotions will help businesses gauge effectiveness of advertising campaigns, promoting holidays or other high traffic dates. Now, in the second sample here from the same report, these are all the busiest foot traffic dates, we see that the on-site data draws for the Mazda dealership dropped out in early October of 2020. Whereas in August of 2020 and mid-October 2020, other dealerships, the Mazda dealership had much more on-site activity, whereas some of the competitors were probably closed. So review, how certain days and certain quarters of the year are performing in terms of customers being at your client's location compared to their top and chosen competitors. So, and lastly, we see again that certain dealerships, did not have much activity on certain dates. So this reporting will, on occasion, shed light into the fact that certain locations are closed when others are open. But again, it's really enabling you and providing you with the opportunity to put your finger on the pulse of that client and help that client realize when most customers or potential customers are at their locations. So, and that's really the analysis and insights that we can provide in an attribution capacity that really demonstrates how email and other digital advertising channels provide lift that's outside of the website tracking and the world of software analytics. But with the location listing services and the data that we're going to talk about delivering to you and your clients, you can really get an opportunity to see where the best opportunity for location-based geotargeting is. And this slide here, we see that food and beverage, health and beauty, entertainment, groceries, not a surprise that those are the sectors where most of the data is being used. But when you have mobile ad ID and location listing data, the ability to personalize ads with highly targeted messaging is one of the key benefits. And MAID's data from smartphones that's identified via platforms that correlate cell tower and GPS-enabled tracking when phone apps are used at a location that's being fenced via latitude and longitude coordinates. This is what the data delivery and the empowerment really gets down to. So how can the mobile ad ID data be used? In general, and most commonly and effectively, social media channels with Instagram and Facebook being the leading platforms. So these location listing snippet pages represent snippets of the adjustable data that's provided. So now what we do is we will provide via the data dynamics fulfillment interface, we set reporting and campaign subscription specifications based on whether a place is a place of business is your clients or competitors, or maybe just the affinity for a comparable location. But after setting those fences and creating, like here that Brett has highlighted, a Planet Fitness, we pull that data of all mobile ad IDs from those devices over a period of time and provide a data output like what is displayed here in the next slide. So This is the MAID's data output. How valuable or invaluable is this information? Think about what we're providing. MAID's data, you can serve targeted ads directly to your and your competitors' customers with daily delivery of MAIDs. You can easily follow the date customer X was at a specific location, then cross-reference that with when the same MAID and customer was at a competitor's location. You can track the time of day patrons come and go on a regular basis, and even identify the latitude and longitude coordinates of where that resident lives. Now, this data and the opportunity to analyze the information and impress your client can be yours. This is really for less than a cup of fancy coffee every day for a month. So the question becomes, why wouldn't a business want to do this? Now, before we shift gears and illustrate how MAID's data can be used in the social media space, I'm going to review some details associated with the technology and data usage. Now, a mobile ad ID this might sound a little basic to some of the more technically advanced attendees, but it's a sequence of random symbols, alphanumeric, that's given by the mobile device's operating system. It's shared with the servers of the apps that the user is using to follow his or her customer journey and remember his or her choices. And MAIDs help assign such data as language, geolocalization, or frequently used apps to a specific user. And thanks to that, data providers can build segments of mobile users who, for example, are music lovers, users who are interested in buying cars, or who are athletes and have other lifestyle choices, and indicate as much. And all the collected data is anonymous. What's more, mobile advertising tracking helps marketers to monitor the activity of users that saw the personalized ad, and those marketers can follow conversions and change frequency capping to increase the efficiency of mobile advertising campaigns. And again, maybe a little simplistic, but mobile ad IDs are ways that developers can identify who's using the apps, and they come in two basic formats: Apple's IDFA and Android's AAIDs. So this is an example of the mobile data output. But before we kind of move into the demonstration of taking this information to Facebook, what channels do you use to advertise to location-based audiences? Social media, Instagram and Facebook being the leaders. And when using custom audience tools, mobile ad IDs, they're an identifier option that advertisers can use to deliver targeted messaging to specific consumers, just like names, email addresses, phone numbers, or postal addresses. And because MAIDs are identifiers, social media managers have the opportunity to not only target the devices that previously visited fenced locations, but they can develop audiences at scale by matching to other profiles with similar attributes. Lookalike audiences is what this will provide. So after gathering MAID's data, these identifiers can be taken to social media platforms for developing custom audiences. And these identifiers are exactly who is at your or your competitor's place of business. So sending highly targeted ads to lookalike audiences can easily be performed to increase the scale of your audience size. And this can be accomplished without requesting incomplete CRM data from your client, which may or may not be shared by your client. So with that said, I'm going to pause and see if Brett is ready to kind of dive in and show us how a custom audience can be developed in Facebook and then enhanced with these identifiers that is MAID's data.
Thank you, Jude. You can see I've got my presentation glasses on now, so I'm ready to go. And what we're going to dive into is just how easy it is to use this data yourself or
Okay, it sounds like Brett's having a little connectivity issues, so bear with me, and I'm going to maybe try to assume control.
let you go ahead and take it, Jude, if I'm not coming through too clearly.
Oh, wait, no, there you are. You're good. You're good, Brett.
All right, well, we'll blame it on the weather. So we're going to go through how you can use device IDs in a way that's much easier than a complex programmatic campaign, and simply upload them as a customer list to one of these social media platforms. And I want to walk you through specifically Facebook. If anybody is familiar with a Facebook ad manager, you'll know about how to make audiences. And one of the features it provides is the ability to upload email addresses or other identifiers. But you may not have understood what these mobile advertiser IDs are that it gives you the option for. And mobile advertising IDs are anonymous and they're very powerful. And we're going to walk you through real quick how to get them into a Facebook campaign. So you'll go to create a new custom audience, and on the next screen, you'll pick customer list. And this is where we're going to actually upload that file that you saw from Jude. And it's going to give you a chance to pick which kind of identifier. And you can see many of the things that offers. Mobile advertiser ID right here in the middle is what you're going to click. Then you'll hit next. And it's going to ask you if you want to make a column for customer value, and you can just ignore that. And then you'll get to the fun part where you upload your file. And that's pretty straightforward, just like if you're uploading an image for a creative. And you'll give it a name so you can actually use it again. And then you'll hit next here. And then it's going to ask you if you want to map your fields. And generally, you're only going to have one field. It's just the device ID. And you see here, it'll give you a chance to pick mobile advertising ID. Maybe you named it advertiser ID in your field. It'll check that and confirm with you. Pretty straightforward. Then that's that. Your audience is ready. And you see here, we uploaded around 53,000 device IDs, and we'll have an opportunity to get an ad displayed on every single one of those devices if one of the users opens up Facebook. Next, going to demonstrate real quickly how to even extend that audience. And you touched on this a little bit with the power of lookalike campaigns and lookalike audiences. Your list of device IDs, just like a list of emails or postal addresses or other identifiers, can be used to create an expanded audience, graphing onto Facebook's own demographics and personas in its background. And it will take those device IDs, align them to similar profiles, and identify them and add them to your audience. And that allows you to scale up your 53,000 to a much wider reach. Essentially, your list of device IDs is the seed for a really powerful targeting list that you don't have to go out and find. You can just generate instead. And so here's what you do to create a lookalike. As you see right over here, you check lookalike at the bottom when you do a new audience. And then you're going to pick the audience that you built already. Then you'll hit next. And then it'll let you scale up how big you want it to be. And obviously, the bigger you go, the less precise the audience will be. But if you keep it within reason, you're going from 53,000 to 2.4 million estimated potential reach is extremely powerful. And it doesn't mean you're going to reach 2.3 million, but that's the potential of that audience. And that's all there is to it. Your campaign, you go back to normal and add your creatives and everything else you do in Facebook and publish your campaign. And the performance improvements are staggering. When you target with device-based campaigns, compared to 0.9%, you go all the way up to 7.5%. With a click-through rate. It's phenomenal. And again, it's really easy technology to access and to use that not a lot of agencies are aware of. So coupling this with the insights that you can provide a customer and the enhanced marketing results really gives you a powerful edge in your favor. I'm going to hand it back over to Jude, and he's going to pick up some of the common questions that we get about this technology and how it's used and what else you can do with it.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. Excellent. Very simple and detailed an on-point demonstration. And before I dive into these FAQs, I do want to drive home, one important aspect, and this is not to undermine or take anything away from Facebook's Facebook likes, but just like click rates, they're important. And likes, it's nice to like something, but keep in mind how often you like a place of business listed on a social platform, but have never been to it, let alone been a patron at that business. So actually having the data, being able to do something in Facebook and Instagram beyond, liking or, liking with a heart, very, very powerful. So, but getting to the frequently asked questions, and by all means, if there are any questions that have not been addressed, please raise your hand or submit a question via the panel field. But one of the most common questions is, how accurate are the geofence polygons in terms of gathering mobile ad ID data? This is very important because we're going back to that fulfillment slide that we saw earlier, drawing a latitude, longitude coordinate around the place of business. It's accurate to a level of about 3 yards. So, less than, a 10-foot discrepancy. As such, polygon fences are tightly created within the outer walls of a structure or within the perimeter of a lot in the case of an auto dealership or event grounds. Now, kind of segue into the second frequently asked question, can a multi-storied structure be fenced? And if so, can maids from only a specific floor be captured? Very common and good question. While yes, a multi-storied structure can be targeted, however, data from specific floors cannot be captured. And that's because a three-dimensional view of the data is not possible, only top-down. Hence, skyscrapers, for example, are not ideal to fence unless a client is interested in capturing mobile ad ID data from businesses on all floors. The third question, how long does the historical foot traffic data reporting reflect? 12 months historical data is initially reported on, and that point in time serves as the base level for foot traffic comparison moving forward. So example, if a subscription begins on January 1st, 2021, the 12 months historical data report will cite January 1st, 2020. And every month moving forward will reflect an additional month's data. February 2021 will reflect 13 months, March 2021, 14 months, and so on. And lastly, the fenced latitude and longitude polygons and data tracking looks similar to programmatic conversion zones. Are they the same? And this is an emphatic no. The polygon fences created to identify and extract maids are not the same as conversion zones. So while conversion zones used in programmatic advertising can identify a device that moves within a fenced area that also received an ad previously, it is only going to track and report out on the devices that moved within an established conversion zone, and again, who received an ad. With location listing data, the devices that are tracked or that we follow and maids data that's delivered does not have to be served a programmatic ad. Your client receives all of the maids captured regardless of having previously served that device with an ad. So this is not like mobile geofencing in which in-app ads are served. We're gathering all the mobile ad IDs that we can follow, identify, and extract, and delivering them to clients so that you are empowered with data on your clients' customers.
Yeah, Jude, if I can chime in, the best way I've learned to describe the difference is a geofencing programmatic campaign will display an ad when somebody enters that fence. Location listening, you can display an ad to somebody anytime if they've once reached inside that fence.
Very good. Thank you, Brett. That's very, 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 very accurate. So in summation, I want to thank everyone for taking time out of their day. And I hope everyone is staying safe at home with the weather that's ravaging the country. So if you would like to learn more about real-time location-based data and how it can enhance your digital marketing campaign, please reach out to me at the information listed here, Jude@datadynamics.com, and the phone number that's listed here. all attendees of this presentation, of this webinar, will receive a copy of the recording. We'll send a recording link, if not by the end of the week, early next week. Brett, I think, would you mind fast forwarding to the one more slide? There you go. Here's the contact information, jude@datadynamics.com. And we will also be announcing our next webinar, which will be in maybe a month or two, but it'll probably be in April or May 2021 with a different topic. But before we wrap up, just kind of check one more time to see if there are any questions.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it. So without further ado, I just want to thank everyone for attending today. I appreciate your patience as we waited a few minutes to get started. And Brett, my colleague, thank you very much for providing the very detailed and expert guidance for creating ad campaigns in Facebook in a very simple and easy to understand manner.
Thank you all.
Okay, everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.